my God. Of course.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most surprising times a bad movie switched things up for the better. Spoilers ahead for the following films.
That having been said, I have a request.
Number 50, The Cube, Dude, Where's My Car? To be fair, this film isn't exactly Citizen Kane.
Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude?
Dude, Where's My Car starts off simple and then snowballs into a much more complicated story. We'll give the movie credit for its use of a Rubik's Cube. Using the toy as an important plot device, the narrative comes down to saving the universe. These kinds of stakes make this stoner comedy a fantastical, offbeat piece of work. The cube becomes the continuum transfunctioner and must be solved. Thankfully for the lead duo, some Norwegian guys are ready to help out. You don't know quite how it all happened, but you can't get mad at this goofy twist.
We saved the universe!
Number 49, Cobbler and Father, The Cobbler. With a large catalog of wacky projects, Adam Sandler seems fit for a movie about shoemaking. The Cobbler gives his hero Max the opportunity to switch lives with each new pair. It sounds fun until you realize the plot wants to be everything all at once. Thankfully for the audience, the movie gives them a reason to stick around to the end. Steve Buscemi's barber Jimmy takes off his footwear to reveal he's the main character's father, Abraham.
You see, the thing is, I'm not just a barber, Max. I'm also a cobbler. And
I'm your father. Pop? That's right, Max.
Through it all, you realize that the dad isn't dead after all. This Dustin Hoffman jump scare catches you off guard before altering the plot once more. In this strange and funny twist, you can't quite believe an average script hides this kind of greatness.
You are a guardian of souls, Max. You are the cobbler. This is your thing.
Number 48, Puberty Love, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Gloriously dumb, this 1970s horror movie features the comical invasion of the title fruit. There are a handful of absurd encounters from kitchen murders to aquatic attacks. By the end, the tomatoes find themselves trapped in a stadium. The film then decides to use music to take down the enemies.
Cover your ears, everyone!
Using a song titled Puberty Love, the humans take back their world from the modified villains. It's not exactly the kind of weapon you'd expect to fight off a powerful horde. In keeping with the story's silly tone, this plot delivers by giving everyone an excuse to stomp on the red produce. Number 47, Julia Roberts, Ocean's 12. We as a society need to get over the momentary hate for Ocean's 12. While it received mixed reviews at the time, some fans have come around to this goofy film. Steven Soderbergh's sequel becomes super meta in the final act.
You're gonna have to play a small role in this thing. Okay, so can you put these on?
The character Tess bears a resemblance to Julia Roberts, with the real actress playing a part of the heist. Roberts is more than game to play a version of herself, while a cameo from Bruce Willis only amplifies the sequence.
Would you like a week
What
overdue?
are you doing in Rome?
Well, I'm here on vacation.
With some witty dialogue, this crazy moment pokes fun at celebrities with a fun acting exercise. You can call the movie a series of cop-outs, but this turn still feels comedically bold.
Thank you, Bruce Willis.
Just don't.
Thank you, museum.
You are fine.
Number 46, The Tape, Vacancy. Many movie motels are known for hiding dark secrets. The one in Vacancy is no different, but the extent of the revelations might surprise viewers.
Like her in the library at classics.
Both Amy and David Fox stay in a room with an unfortunate tape to watch.
Can't you just mute it or something so I don't have to hear it?
Not only is the footage disturbing, it's also set in the same place that they're staying. Talk about a huge turning point that sets the tone for this horror film. Audiences are clamoring for something to happen until this scene. Throwing viewers for a loop, the plot tries its best to separate itself from 100 other thrillers. It's still a B-movie, but the story benefits from the heroes receiving this scary warning.
It's okay. It's okay.
Number 45. Elton John's cameo. Kingsman: The Golden Circle. If you were lucky enough to watch this movie with no information, you'd be surprised to spot this music legend in the cast. Elton John plays himself as a prisoner of Julianne Moore's villain Poppy.
Hey, Elton, have you been a bad boy again?
He's not only there to sing and poke fun at his celebrity status, but also to fight. In the third act of Kingsman: The Golden Circle, the pop star develops some incredible hand-to-hand combat skills. John seems more than happy to make several jokes at his own expense.
Isn't that supposed to be Saturday?
What day is it today?
Wednesday.
Exactly.
In the end, we're happy that somebody had a good time with this lackluster sequel.
Now, go off and save the world.
If I save the world, can I have 2 tickets to your next concert?
Darling, if you save the world, you can have a backstage pass.
Number 44. MG is a killer. Honey Don't. In this Ethan Coen thriller, Margaret Qualley's detective Honey O'Donoghue sparks up a fling with Aubrey Plaza's MG Falcone. The twisty plot involves a load of red herrings and even side characters played by Chris Evans. Before you start wondering what all the fuss is about, Plaza's police officer returns to reignite this crime tale. She also proves to be a dangerous criminal.
Had company? Yeah, I had company.
This initiates a fun fight, with a tea kettle becoming a weapon. The result stings in a good way. You at least get a crazy brawl out of it, leaving you a little more satisfied by the overall vibe.
You think they're gonna look for bullets and a skeleton in the ashes?
Number 43. The book's author. The number 23. Jim Carrey's journey into horror might not be everybody's cup of tea. The number 23 finds his hero lost in a web of conspiracies, with the character questioning his own sanity.
Isn't that amazing?
What?
It's all 23. My birthday, 2-3, driver's license, social security number, everything. I was born at 11:12 p.m. 11 plus 12. It's like it's imitating my life.
Everybody wants to know the author of a strange text. As it turns out, Carrie's protagonist, Walter Sparrow, is the writer in question.
You wrote the book, Walter.
It's one of the few meaningful points of this jumbled creep show. You start to imagine how this twist affects the larger plot. Reviving the promise of the premise, the twist lets the actor have a more emotionally effective scene before it's all over.
You need to leave before.
Before what? Before you kill me?
Number 42. Flanagan's Plot. Along Came a Spider. Following a kidnapping, Alex Cross teams up with Secret Service agent Jesse Flanagan to figure out what happened.
Which door did he go out?
That one there. It's a straight shot to his parking space.
Let's go in.
The initial villain, Gary Soneji, ends up being only a small piece of the puzzle. This James Patterson potboiler trudges along, but then gives you one dynamic narrative choice. Flanagan is actually working on a nefarious scheme of her own.
He's onto us already, isn't he?
No, he's not onto us. But I think he's onto you.
From hero to criminal, she becomes Cross's target after fooling him for so long. The concept of using her as an authority and then hiding her killer instincts could be the best part. Along Came a Spider forces the former partners to meet once again, but this time under much more interesting circumstances.
Put the gun down, Jesse.
Would you kill another partner?
Number 41. Captain Fawcett and the Evil Neighbors. The Pacifier. Shane Wolf goes from a Navy SEAL to a glorified babysitter, protecting a man's family and teaching them lessons about life.
Have you ever given a driving lesson before?
In a minivan? No. But think of it like a Bradley assault vehicle.
Yeah, especially when Zoe's driving.
The plot comes back around as ninjas attack. It turns out that Wolf's boss, Captain Fawcett, is actually the villain, with the plumber's neighbors being in on it.
You promised us Ghost months ago.
I'm sorry, there were delays.
There's plenty of silly energy and debatable subplots until the twist saves the day. You've almost forgotten that there's any reason for Vin Diesel's hero to be there in the first place. Along with some third act singing, this story ends up going to a place that's both funny and musical.
Looks like you have a hit on your hands.
You think so?
Number 40, Rhonda's Death, Song to Song. Director Terrence Malick is known for his sprawling and visually stunning dramas. After winning the Palme d'Or for The Tree of Life, he spent the next decade working on projects that have received a wide variety of reactions.
What can I get for you?
I have a condition.
Yes.
I can't be left alone for more than 5 minutes.
Can I get you something else?
I'd like to hear you sing.
Song to Song might be considered one of his worst films and challenges the traditional concept of structure. If you don't like art house fare, this one will be especially challenging with its love triangles and lack of dialogue.
You're so far off. I'll die if you don't come soon.
4 characters intertwine in the Austin music scene with little to no stakes. With Rhonda's death, it feels like the remaining heroes fall back down to earth. Michael Fassbender's Cook must confront reality and move on. While it's not for everybody, this narrative eventually ekes out one notable twist. Number 39, One More Twist, Glass. Combining the worlds of Split and Unbreakable, Glass expands the M. Night Shyamalan universe with complicated results. The story boils down to the release of incriminating footage that can take down Dr. Staple.
We're not executioners, and we don't need martyrs.
When the heroes obtain it, they spread it on the internet for the world to see. The movie ends with some hope the information will set the record straight on superheroes.
There are unknown forces that don't want us to realize what we are truly capable of.
It's unclear what the next steps will be, but Shyamalan leaves you in a good place by the end. There's plenty of surprises until that point that could have sabotaged the story altogether. In the end, this quiet scene tries its best to tie up some loose ends.
Belief in oneself is contagious. We give each other permission to be superheroes. We will never awaken otherwise.
Number 38, Ellie's Identity, Argylle. At the start of this spy adventure, Ellie Conway seems like a typical author. Her nuanced life is the subject of this box office bomb. She might write about espionage, but she's also got a much more interesting past as a secret agent.
Welcome back, Agent Argylle.
Some brainwashing made Conway forget about her job history and led to her acclaimed career as a novelist. Not only does this make Argylle more intriguing, it also sets up the hero's potential as an action star all her own.
Looking good.
Not feeling very good.
It's gonna be alright.
Director Matthew Vaughn capitalizes on this discovery with a few set pieces. It might not come together, but this plot benefited from a mind-blowing switch.
There is no next mission to go on, target to acquire, or threat to neutralize. For the first time, Argylle was finally free.
Number 37, The Moon Was Built by Ancient Humans, Moonfall. Following an incident with the space shuttle, astronauts and other experts grapple with the moon going rogue.
We got another problem. The moon's orbit is shifting again.
What?
It's correcting itself.
The mystery builds until the heroes figure out the bewildering truth. As it turns out, the Earth's little friend is the making of ancient beings. You probably thought you were just getting a crazy disaster movie too.
Your ancestors had created a perfect and harmonious world, controlled by a central, self-learning computer system which served them in all of their daily lives. You call it AI, artificial intelligence.
The filmmakers try to make sense of this information, making you gasp and laugh in equal measure. A talented cast does their best to carry on after a breathtaking plot point features AI techno-babble. Director Roland Emmerich delves into conspiracy territory here, helping to create a fun version of lunar history.
So the aliens that built the moon? Our ancestors.
Oh no, hold on, because my freaking brain's just exploded.
Number 36, A Ghost Named Jack, Ghost Ship. This schlocky mystery begins with a bunch of boat passengers kicking the bucket. For the rest of the movie, you wonder how exactly it all went down. The hero, Maureen Epps, then watches it all happen with some help from a ghost girl.
I want to show you something.
With a larger plan unfolding before her eyes, Epps sees one man make it through the destruction. Jack orchestrated a few gruesome reversals and even played with a hook. It might seem implausible, but this entertaining sequence gives you some much-needed information. The ghostly antagonist brings the plot forward with a wild flashback. Even if the rest of the movie bumbles around, this horrifying twist gives us a positive jolt.
I want my crew back.
Sorry. Once a passenger's marked their mind.
Then I guess it's over.
Number 35, The Wrong Man, Mission Impossible 2. It might be the most divisive Mission Impossible film, but it still features a few cool moments. Chief among them might be the twist involving henchman Hugh Stamp. Ethan Hunt meets this enemy in the villain's lair and dispatches him off-screen.
Raise your hands very slowly. Sure you want me to do this?
The hero then creates a mask of Stamp, gags him, and swaps faces. Sean Ambrose thinks that he's captured the IMF agent and shoots what he believes to be his rival. In reality, Hunt tricks Ambrose into executing his own buddy. It's yet another clever face mask reveal in a series full of great ones. The rest of the movie might be action overload, but this scene goes for broke and shifts your expectations for the better.
Luthor, clear the bridge for me!
Number 34, Stuntman Mike drives his date home, Death Proof. Unless you're a big slasher fan, this one might sit lower on your personal Quentin Tarantino ranking.
So what's your name, Icy?
Stuntman Mike.
Stuntman Mike's your name.
You ask anybody.
Death Proof takes its sweet time establishing the ensemble and gives you a reason to question Stuntman Mike. Once the latter drives a woman away, you watch as the plot revs up like a muscle car engine. Mike gives his passenger Pam a ride that turns deadly within minutes.
Remember when I said this car was death-proof? Well, that wasn't a lie. This car is 100% death-proof. Only to get the benefit of it, honey, you really need to be sitting in my seat.
The villain takes his time too, making his victim wait for her gruesome demise. Tarantino transforms into a great horror director for this terrifying sequence. There might be lots of talking in between the movie's bright spots, but those key scenes stand out for their genuine thrills.
Now I gotta catch me my other girlfriends.
Number 33, The Curse Goes Viral, Truth or Dare. While on spring break, Olivia Barron and her friends try out a game that turns deadly.
Don't tell the truth or you die. Do the dare or you die. Refuse to play. Just follow the rules.
This sets off a chaotic chain of events that range from cheesy to cliched. The hero must make a last-minute choice after encountering her possessed friend Marky.
How do we get out of this game alive?
You can't.
Seizing an opportunity, Barron uses social media to delay her demise. She then posts a video for a larger audience and gives her more time. Truth or Dare might seem like another demonic twist on a classic concept, but this third act pushes the story much further. It somehow finds a way to upend the plot and even set up a potential sequel.
I'm so sorry, but I have to ask you. Truth or dare?
Number 32, Mrs. Voorhees, Friday the 13th. At Camp Crystal Lake, the victims pile up and an unknown killer wreaks havoc. The perpetrator is later revealed to be the mother of Jason Voorhees.
Oh, my sweet, innocent Jason.
Grieving the death of her son, the mother goes on a killing spree against the summertime residents. Most people expect the villain to be wearing a hockey mask and forget the original twist. Mrs. Voorhees is almost as creepy as her offspring, with her unsettling reveal coming before a final showdown. You'd never suspect her until she starts to reveal her shocking backstory.
Look what you did to him!
Powered by her tragic past, this character and her villain status helped to jumpstart an iconic horror series. Number 31, It's All an Experiment, Old. M. Night Shyamalan loves his twists, with his 2021 thriller Old being no different. The movie features an imaginative plot full of rapidly aging beachgoers.
I don't feel the same. It's like my mind is changing too. I'm getting many thoughts at the same time. It's weird.
As the characters realize their fates, they fight to stay alive. The entire premise switches gears to reveal a greater experiment. With Shyamalan's character watching, it turns out that scientists want to analyze the location with some unsuspecting victims.
Final members of Trial 73 are deceased. Observations complete. Bringing drives back, returning to base.
Trent and Maddox finally reach middle age and devise a way to swim to safety. This adds another detail that goes for broke, expanding the lore of this universe with this scientific twist. You can argue whether or not the director sticks the landing, but the initial reveal does feel like an effective strategy.
How would you feel if a 50-year-old man called and told you he was your 6-year-old nephew?
Number 30, An Elaborate Revenge Plot, Lucky Number Slevin. A man named Max and his son Henry are killed by the mob.
Jeez, you just blew on the 7-horse.
What have you done with my son?
He's on his way home, just like you.
Years later, Slevin Kalevra finds himself trapped between two crime bosses, the rabbi and, fittingly, the boss. Also involved is a shadowy figure known as Mr. Goodcat. Bear with us, it gets kind of complicated. Fast forward to the ending, and we learn that Slevin is actually the young Henry from the prologue, who was spared by the assassin Mr. Goodcat after he had an attack of conscience. The movie's events were all a ploy concocted by Slevin and Goodcat to get revenge on the rabbi and the boss, both of whom had ordered the death of Max.
You? No. You're dead. You're dead!
It's a neat little family-based twist that elevates an otherwise run-of-the-mill mob thriller. Number 29, Hartley is a Con Man, Red Notice. Despite its star-studded cast, Red Notice really flew under the radar and garnered a middling reception. A traditional heist caper, it involves 3 people fighting over stolen jewels that once belonged to Cleopatra.
Booth, I'm curious. How's it feel to be sold out by the most wanted art thief in the world?
I'm the most wanted art thief in the world.
You were.
John Hartley is the FBI agent on the trails of professional thieves Nolan Booth and Sarah Black. Or is he? Turns out Hartley is actually a con man and the husband of Sarah, and they're both working together against Nolan. They targeted the thief and used him to find the location of the third and final jewel, which they proceed to snag for themselves.
It was all a lie? Even the sob story about your dad?
No. My dad was a con man and I hated him. So I decided to become better than he ever was. Beat him in his own game.
It's these types of twisty, who can you trust mind games that make heist thrillers so much fun. Number 28, Donnie was the mastermind, Den of Thieves. At this point, we should always expect an otherwise unassuming member of a gang to be the true criminal mastermind. Den of Thieves follows a police detective named Nick O'Brien as he tries to stop a gang from robbing the Federal Reserve.
Dealing with a different animal here, boys.
One of the gang's members is getaway driver Donnie Wilson, played by O'Shea Jackson Jr. In the exciting climax of the film, Nick successfully recovers the bags of stolen money, only to find them filled with shredded paper. What he doesn't find is Donnie, who had swapped the bags and taken the cash for himself, having orchestrated the whole heist from the get-go.
You know everything was accounted for at the Fed, right?
Apparently so.
It's a great way to end what is essentially just a ripoff of Heat. Number 27. Cliff and Sydney are the killers. A Perfect Getaway. This ironically named movie takes place in Hawaii and concerns 3 couples, Cliff and Sydney, Nick and Gina, and Kale and Cleo.
Well, you didn't say you were doing the trail, so...
Well, neither did you.
Look, we offered you a ride. You didn't want it. You didn't take it. So I don't really understand what the issue is.
The couples meet on a remote hike, but they become wary of each other when a homicide is reported in the area, with the perps being described as a man and woman. Kale and Cleo are eventually arrested for the murders, which surprises no one considering their generally creepy nature. Of course, it was all a red herring. The real killers are who we least expected: Cliff and Sydney, 2 drug users who murder tourists and assume their identities.
She was kind of classy, huh?
Hey, Rule 2, keep your game face on. Come on, honey.
The movie is much smarter than your average thriller, and this twist is certainly a big part of it. Number 26. Millie and Nick are working together. Reindeer Games. Okay, pay attention because this gets complicated. So Nick and Rudy are prison cellmates, but Nick is killed in a fight. When Rudy gets out, he pretends to be Nick and meets Ashley, with whom Nick had been exchanging letters.
Look, Ashley, I'm sorry. I was scared that I was going to walk out there and you were going to take one look at me and just turn around. You know, I was scared I was walking out of heartache.
Then he gets sucked into a casino heist planned by Ashley's brother Gabriel. Fast forward a bit and we learn that Gabriel and Ashley are actually lovers, not siblings. Plot twist 1. Plot twist 2, Nick shows up alive and well. And plot twist 3, Ashley is actually Millie Bobek, and she's been working with the presumed dead Nick from the very beginning. Get all that? Point is, it's a fun reveal that adds some much needed spice to an otherwise ho-hum heist thriller.
I always wanted to rob that casino, Rudy. Way back when I worked there. What better way than to get some guys to rob it for me?
Number 25. Tom took on Rogue's identity. War. Jet Li plays Rogue, a Yakuza assassin who is seemingly shot and killed by FBI agent Tom Lone.
Did you get him? I got him. You sure? Took one in the face. He's dead, relax.
However, he survives and murders Tom and his family before burning down their home. Later, Rogue fights Yakuza boss Shiro Yanagawa, who realizes that he is not actually Rogue, but the supposedly deceased Tom Lone. Tom had pulled a trick on both the Yakuza and the audience. He killed Rogue that night, put his wedding ring on his finger, and burned the house down to make his corpse unrecognizable.
You're Tom Lone. Change it your face, your voice. All so you could get to me.
He then had his face surgically altered to resemble Rogue, so he could go on a revenge spree. There's nothing like a good face swap plot twist to help a movie stand out. Number 24. Anna imagined Alex and killed everyone. The Uninvited. While it's a lesser remake of the Korean film A Tale of Two Sisters, The Uninvited is a decent enough flick that's redeemed by a solid plot twist. The movie follows sisters Anna and Alex, who are convinced that their father's new girlfriend Rachel murdered their mother in a house fire.
The fire wasn't an accident. It was her.
Tensions build, and Alex ultimately murders Rachel. But as we eventually learn, most of the movie's events took place in Anna's head. Suffering from mental illness, Anna accidentally killed both her mother and Alex in a house fire, and pinned the blame on Rachel as a coping mechanism.
I did exactly what you asked.
Did what, Anna?
I finished what I started.
She then imagined Alex and murdered Rachel as a result of her worsening delusions. It's a great twist that deepens both the plot and Anna's character. Number 23. Everyone is Dead. Passengers. They Were Dead All Along is a tricky twist that is not often welcomed by audiences. In fact, reactions to it can be pretty darned hostile, but we think it gives this otherwise unmemorable film a memorable kick. It certainly helped us remember it.
When did you first realize that something was wrong?
The concept is simple. Anne Hathaway is Claire Summers, a psychotherapist who counsels the survivors of a plane crash. But they're not actually survivors. In reality, everyone died in the accident, including Claire, who's having trouble accepting her demise and is imagining herself as a psychotherapist. Talking to other deceased people was a way to help her come to terms with her own death.
And everyone else?
They're just here to help us find our way.
It works. In the end, Claire finally accepts her new position and sails into the afterlife. Number 22. Maggie is Freddy's daughter. Freddy's dead, the final nightmare. As the title suggests, this was meant to be the final movie in the Elm Street franchise. And what better way to end it than with a little patricide? A John Doe is brought to a youth shelter, which is run by Dr. Maggie Burroughs.
How long have you been awake?
As far as I can remember, or no, about 3 days.
Looks more like 3 weeks.
Together, they discover that the mythical Freddy Krueger had a child. Maggie checks her adoption papers and discovers that she is that child. Her real name is Catherine Krueger, but it was changed when Freddy was arrested. So she confronts her father, pulls him into the real world, and sticks a pipe bomb in his chest.
Happy Father's Day.
The family dynamics are interesting, and it gives the franchise a satisfying ending. Or rather, what should have been its ending. Number 21. They're all in a killer's mind. Identity. This is a highly divisive movie, and it all boils down to its famous twist. For some, this was just another forgettable Agatha Christie movie, with people being mysteriously killed off in an isolated motel.
Jesus, Mother of God.
Who is this?
The woman I was driving.
The story is inspired by And Then There Were None, and for many, it was a pale imitation of it. Until that twist. We learn that these people are actually the personalities of Malcolm Rivers, a murderer suffering from dissociative identity disorder. Malcolm's psychiatrist is attempting to remove the different personalities, which we see visualized as the violent events in the motel. Just when we thought this was another ordinary murder mystery, in comes this wild twist to prove us all wrong.
I need you to understand, the killer cannot survive.
It's divisive, yes, but it's certainly unforgettable. Number 20. The Devil's Identity. Devil. Devil deserves points for an exciting premise. 5 strangers are trapped in an elevator. One by one, a person is killed by someone in the group while everyone tries to figure out the culprit.
He's probably trying to figure out which one of us is the murderer.
Although it's an interesting story setup, Devil becomes too similar to Saw. The film basically becomes about how gruesome the next death will be. These cheap thrills aren't particularly exhilarating until the climax. It turns out that an elderly woman who died early on is the true villain. Even more surprisingly, she's the actual devil. The antagonist deliberately trapped sinful people together to collect their souls.
You're not good.
I know.
You think you can make up for the choices you made?
No.
You think you can be forgiven?
This flips Devil's story on its head, since each person deserves to be held responsible for their crimes. Number 19. The Real Villain. The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. This fantasy adventure is about protagonist Clara bringing peace to a magical land. She teams with the Sugar Plum Fairy while grieving her mother's death, the former queen of the realms.
Mother Ginger's the one who began this war. I hope you'll be the one to finish it.
The film's good versus bad outline lacks originality, feeling like a rehash of superhero movies. Its twist does signify deeper themes relating to Clara's loss, as Sugar Plum's betrayal comes to light. Mother Ginger, the supposed villain, is revealed to be falsely accused. Perceiving the death of Clara's mother as abandonment, Sugar Plum plans to become queen in her place.
Your mother abandoned us. And then she just expects us to carry on and play nice. Well, I don't want to play nice!
Meanwhile, Clara accepts losing her mother, empowering herself to defeat the villain. This turn of events contrasts the two characters, adding the required emotional depth that's lacking for most of the story. Number 18. The Real Brahms. The Boy.
Miss Evans, allow me to introduce Mr. Hilscher.
Miss Evans.
And this is our son, Brahms.
American nanny Greta is given the strange job of looking after a porcelain doll named Brahms. This begins a drawn-out plot about odd events surrounding the doll, which convinces Greta that it's possessed by the spirit of her employer's deceased child. Unfortunately, much of the boy's runtime is about jump scares that don't do much to move the plot forward. It's only at the end when the payoff for these shock value moments arrives. Brahms, the titular boy, isn't actually a boy. He's not even a ghost. Brahms has been alive this whole time, living within the house's walls to spy on Greta.
Miss Brahms.
It can't be.
The movements of the doll were all orchestrated by Brahms himself, providing an impressive turn of events to an otherwise formulaic film. Number 17, The Truth Behind the Community. Don't Worry, Darling. In a seemingly idyllic 50s town called Victory, housewife Alice Chambers starts to notice things are off. She realizes her husband Jack and all the men are hiding a secret.
Do you even know what Frank is actually doing?
Classified. We're not even allowed to discuss our jobs with other departments. You know that.
What if Margaret was right?
Stop it, Alice.
What if this place is dangerous? What if—
Stop it!
Don't Worry, Darling suffers from an identity crisis, not fully committing to being a psychological thriller or a commentary on male fragility. After wasting some of its runtime on these themes, the final act of the movie turns things around. Alice comes to know that Victory isn't real. It's a simulated reality where she and the other women are trapped by the men.
Do you consent to the physical and medical requirements for entry to Victory?
Yes.
Are you aware that you are responsible for the physical upkeep of your chosen life?
Yes.
This brings context to the odd behavior of most of the characters, as they knew the secret all along. The revelation also adds much-needed tension to Alice's bid for freedom. Number 16, Crash Landing. Life. Life is too similar to other alien-based films to feel original, featuring a story about a species that slowly takes out a space crew one by one. It has a rather generic plotline where the characters figure out a way to stop Calvin the alien.
Control. This is Station. Station for Control. The specimen's location is unknown. It is to be considered hostile and deadly. Our intent is to isolate and destroy it in compliance with protocol.
The ending makes it appear that Miranda North has escaped, while David Jordan has sacrificed himself to prevent Calvin from reaching Earth.
You fly out into deep space.
With Calvin. Yes. Meanwhile, you get into boat B. You press the button, and if there are no complications, then it takes you back home.
No, we should lure Calvin together.
Miranda, that doesn't make any sense.
The film's final moments are where this seemingly predictable story takes a huge turn, as it was Miranda's pod that was knocked off course while David has reached Earth with Calvin. This changes life's direction completely, leaving us stunned with the chilling realization that humanity might be doomed. Number 15, Morty's Real Identity. Click.
Where's the box? Does it come with directions?
Not necessary. Just point, click, and eventually it will program itself.
Perpetually frustrated, Michael Newman is offered a time-skipping remote by a mysterious man named Morty. While Michael initially has fun with it, his life ultimately spirals out of control. Click has some emotionally stirring moments, but the slapstick comedy can become annoying to watch. The premise also overstays its welcome after several time skips. But the reveal of Morty's true nature saves the movie. With decades skipped beyond salvation, Michael finds out that Morty is the angel of death.
An angel, Michael.
An angel? I thought an angel was supposed to protect people.
I'm the angel of death.
The remote was a way for Michael to appreciate his life, giving him an extremely long lesson to learn. Unlike stereotypical portrayals of the angel of death, Morty isn't an evil entity, but someone who shows Michael that he's been making the wrong decisions in life. Number 14, Jamie's father, Dead Silence. Jamie Ashen tries to figure out a way to end his family's curse as the ghost of ventriloquist Mary Shaw looks to end his bloodline.
All these years you've resented me for sending you away.
But I did it to distance you from this curse.
Taking a slow build toward its conclusion, Dead Silence spends a lot of its runtime showing the protagonist lost and confused. Jamie's story is riddled with many bait-and-switch moments until he thinks he's beaten Mary by destroying her last doll. However, the final moments have Jamie realize that he was led astray. His father turns out to be a doll controlled by his wife, who is possessed by Mary. With no place to run, a horrified Jamie learns this is how his demise was planned the whole time.
Now, who's the dummy?
Although the villain wins, the manner of her victory does deserve praise. Number 13, Tim's Endgame, 7 pounds. 7 pounds has earnest intent with its story about the power of kindness.
Because you are a good man.
No, really.
Even when you don't know that people are watching you.
But it gets very melodramatic as the film goes on, making it a bit of a drag to watch. It follows Ben Thomas, who seeks to help supposed strangers. Keeping up with the abundance of characters is difficult until the ending ties everything together. We learn Ben is actually Tim Thomas, who was responsible for causing multiple deaths in an accident. Tim is giving his organs away to people in need to redeem himself, culminating in his own demise to save 7 lives.
I got lung cancer and I needed a double lobe transplant. Tim could only give me one, of course. I must have planted a seed.
His sacrifice justifies every interaction he's had in the film, carving out Tim's role as a tragic hero and slapping viewers right in the feels. Number 12, The Truth About the Devereaux, The Skeleton Key.
Look, you said the house had a history, right? Voodoo is pretty harmless. Harmless how? Well, it's psychological, like a lot of that stuff. Can't hurt you if you don't believe it.
This supernatural horror contains many scenes with characters talking about hoodoo. All this exposition dulls the Skeleton Key's quality since so much talking leaves little room for scares. Kate Hudson's character, Caroline, becomes a caretaker of an elderly couple, the Devereaux. The initially skeptical protagonist eventually believes the old people are hoodoo practitioners and tries to escape. But it turns out that all of Caroline's research was manipulated to make her believe in hoodoo and prepared for possession. The Devereaux are century-old body snatchers who lure young people to their plantation. Caroline and estate lawyer Luke are the latest in a long line of victims. All the talk of hoodoo in the film were discreet hints for viewers to prepare for this grand twist.
I think it fits you beautifully. It's better than violet. Or grace, even. We'll get used to it. We always do.
Number 11, The Truth About Gabriel, Malignant. Director James Wan frequently uses slow burn stories with a twist. Malignant follows this template as well. It begins when mistreated Madison Mitchell's violent husband is killed.
You're in a hospital. Where's Derek? Do you remember what happened? Someone broke into your house. You were attacked? And Derek?
Madison learns that her childhood imaginary friend Gabriel is behind the deaths of people connected to her. Although the film repeats this cycle of violence more than necessary, the twist of Gabriel's sudden reappearance is worth the wait. We learn that Gabriel is Madison's parasitic twin brother, who can control her body. After being extracted from her at childbirth, Gabriel's consciousness has remained in her mind.
One twin is dominant while the other is underdeveloped. It's not considered conjoined because the underdeveloped twin is dependent on the body of the other. Like a parasite, Gabriel feeds off Emily.
The hunt for the killer went around in circles because Madison was indirectly the killer all along. This clever twist alters the context of the film's events and sets up its horror-filled ending. Number 10, David's Dream, Vanilla Sky. Vanilla Sky opens with David Ames providing his account of the events that ruined his life. An accident leaves David's face disfigured, alienating him from his lover Sophia.
Let's get it all out. Say everything now. Let's just
David.
say everything. Say everything now. Now.
I'll tell you in another life when we are both cats.
Incoherent storytelling techniques and constant tonal changes in the narrative make it confusing to keep up with Vanilla Sky. But the climax answers why David's life is a blur. He's been in cryogenic sleep for over a century, waiting for technology to develop enough to repair his disfigurement. All the mayhem shortly after his accident was a glitch in his lucid dream, causing his feelings of guilt and sadness to catch up to him.
Your subconscious did create problems. Your dream turned into a nightmare, and this gentleman was able to uncover the fabric of our work. The glitch has been corrected.
The ambiguity of David's fate is a clever way to leave viewers contemplating what comes next. Number 9. The Cat. Fallen. This supernatural horror movie's plot has Detective Hobbs and Jonesy track the demon Azazel, who possesses people hoping to cause global calamity.
Just tell me what they want.
The demons? They want the fall of civilization, the fall of Babylon, as they put it.
The premise quickly takes a downturn since Azazel's body hopping becomes played out and nothing else really happens. Fallen also comes across as too convoluted for a horror movie, but this makes way for an ingeniously simple twist no one would see coming. Before letting Azazel take over his body, Hobbs poisons himself while at a secluded cabin to ensure the demon is stranded forever.
You don't smoke anymore.
That's right, I don't. You know why? Because cigarettes kill. Especially cigarettes laced with poison.
However, Azazel breaks the fourth wall to mock us for thinking the good guy would win, as he possesses a cat to head back to civilization.
Oh. You forgot something, didn't you? At the beginning, I said I was going to tell you about the time I almost died.
This intellectual twist proves the devil does come in many forms. Number 8. Remy's True Reality. Repo Men. This movie's premise is about repo men in the future whose job is to repossess artificially enhanced organs.
My job is simple. Can't pay for your car, the bank takes it back. Can't pay for your house, the bank takes it back. Can't pay for your liver, well, that's where I come in.
The main character, Remy's attempt to escape the repossession of his heart eventually spirals into a predictable chase story. The story seems to reach its cliché happy ending when a glitch brings everything back to reality. It's revealed that Remy's injury at one point in the film had caused severe brain damage, and all that he sees is part of a simulation.
Let's go, buddy.
Remy and his love interest are actually barely alive, meaning the happy ending only exists in Remy's mind. This subverts usual action movie stereotypes in favor of a dark and realistic conclusion that is bittersweet yet thought-provoking at the same time.
Sweet dreams, buddy.
Number 7. Ender's Simulations. Ender's Game. Ender's Game follows the titular character's training to prevent an alien invasion. He partakes in simulations of the alien race known as Formics, gaining victory through his strategically brilliant mind.
Ender, watch our right flank. We need backup for Bernard.
I see it. Bernard, you flag them.
Copy that, using 10 through 18.
Alive, peel right. Think, compensate for the pull of planet G8 and go full throttle.
However, the film devotes a lot of time to the gaming aspect, which prevents the supporting characters from having much depth. It's only by the ending that the importance of the many simulations becomes apparent. Ender finds out that these were all happening in real time, and he's responsible for wiping out most of the Formic race. It's a solid twist that turns the protagonist into a villain without anyone realizing it.
I will bear the shame of this genocide forever.
No. You will be remembered as a hero.
I will be remembered as a killer.
The reveal of the Formic's true peaceful nature makes Ender's misunderstood actions all the more tragic. Number 6. Betrayal. Smokin Aces. FBI agents Messner and Carruthers are tasked to keep the informant Aces alive from mob boss Barazza's bounty.
No formal witness against the mob has been as crucial or as important as Buddy. Aces is real. He's not only essential to our case, he is our case.
Unfortunately, the influx of many characters turns this into a highly convoluted plot that runs around in circles until the climax presents the big twist. The FBI is revealed to be working with the mob, as Barazza himself is an informant, and Ace's father, whom the FBI hand over as part of their deal.
The Bureau betrayed us.
Wake up.
You betrayed us, Deputy
Stop
Director
pointing your-
Locke. You betrayed us the way you betrayed them. You
Shift.
f***ing asshole.
Disgusted that the FBI's own corrupt activities caused so many deaths, Messner pulls the plugs on both Aces and Barazza to destroy everyone's plans. After messing around with the plot so much, Smokin Aces' morally appropriate ending presents a great contrast to all the prior over-the-top violence. Number 5. Everything Comes Full Circle. Final Destination 5. The Final Destination movies have never been critical darlings, mainly because the plot lines lack many surprises.
We all gotta get off.
What are you talking about?
The bridge is gonna collapse.
What?
We're all gonna die.
What the hell is going on?
We're all gonna die if we don't get off this bridge now.
Final Destination 5 follows the same pattern, featuring yet another group's attempts to escape death, but meeting their ends in gruesome ways. The main plot ends as expected, with the survivors planning to leave on a plane to celebrate their supposed victory over death.
Are you kidding me? You're gonna make me sit in the middle seat?
Uh-huh.
I'm like twice your size.
Not really.
All right.
However, it's then that the flight is confirmed to be the one shown in the first movie, meaning that everything that's happened so far has been set up by death to lead to this moment.
Those passengers who got off the plane earlier, what was that all about?
Oh, a kid had a panic attack and wanted off the plane. Said he had some kind of vision.
No.
Oh my God.
As the plane crashes, the story comes full circle for the franchise, making it symbolic of the circle of life and death. Number 4. Judgment Day. Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines.
No bombs fell. Computers didn't take control. We stopped Judgment Day.
By this point, it was obvious that the series would copy the format of the previous two movies. Terminator 3 does indeed follow this style, with the titular character now protecting an adult John Connor from another advanced Terminator sent by Skynet.
You here to kill me?
No. You must live.
The story is on course for the usual sacrifice by the Terminator, but the final moments take an original twist never seen before in the franchise. It turns out that Judgment Day could never be prevented, as was always believed, and that Skynet had already initiated nuclear bombs to begin a worldwide massacre.
John, what is he saying?
Judgment Day. The end of the world. It's today, 3 hours from now.
Terminator 3 baits the viewer into a false sense of security to leave fans speechless as the series' promise of a dystopian future finally comes to pass. Number 3. Esther's True Nature. Orphan. This psychological horror story centers around the adoption of a young child whose arrival sparks several incidents. Orphan is largely formulaic, with obvious signs of young Esther being an evil child.
Then you were just pretending this whole time?
I thought you would enjoy teaching me. It must be frustrating for someone who loves music as much as you, to have a son who isn't interested and a daughter who can't even hear.
The build-up seems to point toward a cliché turn for the worst from Esther, but the reveal of her true nature comes out of nowhere. As it turns out, Esther is an adult woman posing as a young girl, meaning her malicious activities were the premeditated actions of a murderer and not a disturbed child.
She only looks like a child.
According to our records, Lena Klammer was born in 1976. She's 33 years old.
The twist gives the thriller the eerie sense of horror it was going for. It also makes Orphan a highly rewatchable flick, as it's interesting to go back and find clues for this twist hidden all along.
Go to your room. Honestly, we're past that now, aren't we?
Number 2, The Truth About Eli, the Book of Eli. The Book of Eli sees the titular characters attempt to preserve the last copy of the Bible while escaping a warlord who wants the book's knowledge.
Just staying alive is an act of faith. Building this town is an even bigger act of faith, but they don't understand that. None of them. And I don't have the right words to help them, but the book does.
This dystopian movie has similarities with the critically acclaimed Mad Max series, but relies on the mystery of its protagonists so much that the action becomes a drag to watch. However, the closing moments show Eli's been hiding an even bigger secret, as the Bible is written in Braille, revealing that Eli was blind the whole time.
The first book of Moses, called Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1.
Having given no obvious clues, the twist places the protagonist's actions in a bigger context and signs off with an uplifting message. Eli's journey was always meant to be spiritual, which changes the previously bleak outlook of the film in an instant.
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't have to make sense. It's faith. It's faith. It's the flower of light in the field of darkness. It's giving me the strength to carry on. You understand?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, The Secret Accomplice, Saw 3D. The 7th movie loses all the nuances and thoughtful commentary from previous entries. Instead, Saw 3D is a straight-up gore fest that relies completely on the traps. The flick's plot sees Mark Hoffman simply off everyone in his path and then take down Jigsaw's wife Jill out of revenge.
This person will go on killing until he's stopped. You know him, and he definitely knows you.
Is that right?
He's Detective Mark Hoffman.
However, Dr. Gordon, whose status was never clarified until this film's opening scene, shows up to attack Hoffman before he can escape. It's revealed that Gordon was Jigsaw's secret accomplice all along, meaning he had a hand in everything that happened in the series.
Hello, Dr. Gordon. You are perhaps my greatest asset.
This ties up all loose ends in one go, and at least gives this by-the-numbers movie the huge twist fans were looking for.
Game over.
Did we forget another bad movie plot with a crazy twist? Let us know in the comments.